So welcome everybody to day one for Festival of the Future, which is part of Digital Leaders Week. We are recording this session and it will be available afterwards. And if you want to talk about Futurefest, it's hashtag Futurefest, hashtag DL Week on social media if you want to talk about the session that you're about to hear about. It's a real pleasure today to introduce to you Claire from Leeds Libraries, who is helping to inspire women to go into digital tech and science careers. So really interested to hear from you, Claire. So we're going to share your presentation and we'll get going. Thank you.
Hello everyone, just bear with me and I'll just get my presentation up on screen. I'm using the desktop today, so I don't have as much.
Just while you're doing that, if people do want to pop questions in the chat, we will facilitate question and answers at the end.
Okay, so yes, I will begin. So hello, my name is Claire Duffield and I'm Digital Engagement Librarian from Leeds Libraries. Hopefully you can see my slides at the moment. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself before going into the rest of the talk. I didn't take a traditional route into digital. I went to art school. Against my parents' wishes, my mum wanted me to become a plumber, which I think is a strange choice, but I think it's quite a feminist choice at the same time. So I really enjoyed art school. I learned empathy and to look at other people's points of view and expression as well. After art school, I found myself moving to Leeds from Aberdeen. And I went into libraries for job hunting because they had free internet access and PCs as well. And I thought this is an absolutely lovely space and I'd like to work in here. So I applied for a job and I was library assistant for quite a few years in little community libraries around Leeds. I went on to become a librarian working in communities with school children.
First of all,
really enjoying helping children enjoy stories and literacy for the first time, but also getting people online for the first time. And a lot of my talk will be about that as well.
We're going to start from the beginning.
And so then I went on to become a librarian in Studio 12, which is an amazing, really enlightening, helping people to have opportunities to share their voice for personal growth, but also for helping their communities in place shaping and growth strategies. So this list shows some of the things that Leeds Libraries are up to, a fantastic digital offer with activities for everyone. But we do know that tens of thousands of people in Leeds are missing out on these opportunities because they are digitally excluded. So my talk today will be a presentation of two halves. First, I'll talk about our 100% Digital Leeds programme, working with hundreds of thousands of organisations to make Leeds the most digitally inclusive city for everyone. Then I'll talk about our digital offer within Leeds Libraries, including Studio 12, Code Club, Tech Mums Club and Tech Talks, and also my work with empowering women with tech in Leeds. These all give our citizens more opportunities to engage digitally and raise their aspirations. So first of all, the 100% Digital Leeds takes the furthest first approach. We go to the people most likely to be digitally excluded and those who have other challenges in their lives. Leeds is a diverse and compassionate city with a fantastic third sector full of charities and volunteer organisations doing amazing work to give support to those who need it. 100% Digital Leeds work with these organisations to help embed digital into what they already do, building their capacity to support the people they work with. We know that helping people to become digitally included will bring wider social benefits. Improved digital skills help people to be better informed, pay less for things, be more employable, feel more independent, be less isolated, and live happier, healthier, and easier lives. Increasing digital inclusion is written into our city strategies. We can't deliver our city priorities for everyone if we leave tens of thousands of people behind because they're not digitally included. The 100% Digital Leeds programme is the city's response to tackling this issue. So I'm going to have a little look at who those people are. So you can see from this slide that 16% of UK adults are still unable to use a digital device and get online by themselves, and 7% are almost completely offline. And there are some indicators of who those people are. So it's people who have, it depends on what age people have left full-time education, the presence of children in their home, or the level of confidence with reading and writing, their income, social grade, or age. But there are also other factors, including if people have learning disabilities or physical disabilities, have English as a second language, or a refugee and asylum seekers. Many of these people use libraries and other council and community services. If they are digitally excluded, when our community centres close, they're more likely to be affected. And as services are going more and more online, they won't be able to access them. So we know that some of the barriers to digital inclusion, including access. So a lot of people think that people have mobile phones, and we do. Everyone's got a mobile phone pretty much, but that mobile phone might not have data on them, and I don't know if anyone's ever tried to apply for a job using a mobile phone. It's pretty much impossible. There's also a lack of confidence and skills within people. They might have had bad experiences before, or they might lack trust in the internet and just not have the knowledge of how to use the internet. They may also not realise the benefits they can enjoy from using the internet and computers and digital. So in Leeds, this is my fantastic colleagues, my team there, and they are in charge of our tablet lending scheme, which provides access to the internet through 4G enabled iPads, and these are given out to organisations across Leeds. They also help to train digital champions in these third sector organisations. And this is the most important thing. The people who work within the communities know the communities. We can't be experts in all kinds of different health conditions, second languages, that kind of thing, but they are. So if we train them up to embed digital into everything they're doing, that will spread the capacity of the work we do, and also help to increase the confidence and the skills. So the 100% Digital Leeds team have been in place for over 2 years, and this is some of the amazing outputs that they have been successful in. We also have lots of outcomes on our website, so if you see below there, it says digitalinclusion.leeds.com. So please do visit that for some of our case studies of individuals, organisations and specific programmes of activity. We've had a dementia project, Pathfinder with the Good Things Foundation, where we've been using VR with older people. And I think that's one of the really important things about digital and tech as well. It's not always about learning skills, it's sometimes about the experience and helping people's well-being as well. So we've seen that motivation is one of the barriers to digital inclusion. I'm now going to go on and tell you a little bit about how libraries can help with that. So, one of the things that I absolutely adore in my job is Tech Mums Clubs in Leeds. So I don't know if everyone's heard of Tech Mums Clubs, but they are created by Dr. Sue Black, who is in the left-hand corner there, and she does love a selfie. Please do follow her on Twitter if you haven't already. And Sue found herself in quite a difficult position where she was a single mother in an abusive relationship. So she had to escape that. She found herself in a women's refuge, and then looking after her family. Her prospects weren't particularly great, but she was lucky enough to find bursaries for educational programs in tech, and she found a passion within that. So she wants to give that opportunity to other mums. And the whole premise of Tech Mums Clubs is seeing mums as the influencers of the community. So your mum, she influences the whole family, and that has a knock-on effect. So we were the first city outside of London to do a 10-week course back in 2019. We had 43 mums on the course, and they were also loaned iPads so that they could do the course in person with the librarian guides and people from our adult learning courses in Leeds. But they could also take their iPads home with them and keep on learning throughout. We targeted Leeds City Council priority neighbourhoods to ensure we reached the mums most in need and contributed to Leeds City Council's inclusive growth. And that names women in tech as a priority. The course content includes taster sessions. So each week the mums would come together with a librarian and a guide, and we would have lovely chats basically about social media, coding, web design, app design, and one of the most important things to mums and families is online safety, knowing what their families are doing. So this course is really designed for people who want to have a go, find out more, raise confidence, but also find out a little bit about the tech industry. And we really felt that this was a great link into that within Leeds. So Leeds digital and culture sector is amazing, and we get a lot of support. You can see in this picture, this is our celebration event, where the 43 mums who graduated all came together and they told their stories. There were a few tears, and a lot of them had been through quite a lot. But you can also see Sue there, and some Penny, and Natasha. And Natasha is head of Sky in Tech in Leeds, and she also runs the Empowering Women in Tech programme, which I will tell you a little bit about more. So it's really kind of creating those really accessible networks for the mums as well. Mums have gone on to the Tech Up programme with Dr. Sue Black, and also gone on to further learning and even volunteering in the library service, and we keep in touch with them. And we did another course this year as well. And for all of this, we want to win a Women in IT Excellence Award. So it's something that I'm very, very proud of. Now for this year's Tech Mums, the pandemic happened. So 2 weeks before the end of the course, we were in lockdown and we had to find new ways of delivering the course online. So we went on to Zoom. We didn't get as much attendance on Zoom, but we did get a few people able to finish the course. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to keep in touch with those people. So we developed this weekly session of Tech Talks. Now, this is a very relaxed session. I don't want to call it a webinar. It's not someone just presenting at people. It's very much creating that accessible network from the mums to come and listen to experts from the digital and cultural industries in Leeds. But we also wanted to open it up. So now it's open to anyone who can join us every Thursday, 12:01. And listen to a fabulous selection of guests. So these are some of the guests that we've had on so far. As you can see, it's everyone looking from human skills all the way to gender bias and Wikipedia, and I've even included some men as guest speakers on there. As you can see, it's quite a lot of women on there. So we've got career confessions of a hacker and design and technology with design for humanity. So they're fantastic little talks, and they are open, they're available on YouTube to watch at any time as well, and I can share that link later on with you. And I think the important thing with this as well is that it does link to the cultural digital offer we have in Leeds. So you can see there we've got guests from theatre and British Library. So it also gives people the opportunity to find out how they can enjoy digital and tech as well. So moving on to Studio 12, which is where I worked about 4 years ago now, and it's part of Leeds Libraries, and it's just an absolutely fantastic studio, free of charge for 16 to 30-year-olds. So they can come and they can use a sound booth, they can use film equipment, and it's about, I don't know, there's about 10 Macs in there, so they can edit as well. It's run by Chloe and Jamie, and they have absolutely fantastic skills and will support young people to create their own portfolios. And this really attracts people who might not traditionally have got on with the traditional education route. So we've got a lot of people from lots of different communities in Leeds, and they've been doing a lot of work with women in music, because like with the tech industry and the digital industry, there's quite a big gap there. So they've been working with both sides now. Have a look at them as well if you haven't heard of them. They're on Twitter, I think. And last year they created a project where they worked with a group of young women over a week, and they reimagined the music to different films that they'd created, and then they did a live performance. One of those films was by Asma El-Badawi, and I met Asma about 4 years ago when we were doing the BBC One Extra Words First programme. And Asma is a poet, but she has dyslexia, and she was lacking a bit of confidence at the time. And through that week-long workshop, she was then picked to then go and perform at the Roundhouse in London. She's now written and starred in her own film about anxiety and mental health, and please do go to studio12.org.uk to have a little look at that. And I think this is where I really started developing my passion for people, giving people a voice using digital. We also run code clubs. So we originally had 7 code clubs running across the city, and we set monthly challenges, which are STEAM-based sessions. And they're supported by amazing librarians across the city and volunteers from the digital sector across Leeds as well. It's really important for us to have the volunteers. You can see there Victor, who might be on this call today, and he's from the Leeds University Engineering Department. So he's there as a role model to these children. We also have a female volunteer from Rockstar Games, which is very cool. Again, an excellent role for any of the young women that come to our code clubs. And we do have a really good gender divide in our code clubs. So what we really try to do is encourage collaboration in them by doing these monthly challenges. So it's not just about the digital skills, it's about the social and team working skills as well. And we're really impressed to see the creative problem solving that this approach brings to the clubs. And we're always fine with mistakes as well. I think a lot of young people lose confidence in digital, especially girls, if they make a mistake, and that's absolutely fine. Sometimes the best things come from mistakes. One of our young people, Lars, says it's very, very, very fun, and he's also been using his Scratch projects to earn his Cubs Digital Maker Stage Activity badge. We've even sent code to space as well, and we know we want to do a little bit more of that. So, attracting young people to digital is something I'm extremely passionate about. I think that especially young girls lose confidence when they're picking their GCSEs, and they might not see the huge range of digital opportunities and different jobs available in digital. So we work with sponsors in Leeds, including BGSS and City Fibre, and we put on hacks. And this is usually a one-day hack where we bring a lot of families together, and they work on a solution to a real-world problem. This one here is Queens of Industry, an all-girls STEAM hack that we hosted at Armley Mills. We worked with Leeds museums to create a challenge based on textiles and the mill industry, and connecting that to digital. The girls worked over the course of an hour and created some absolutely amazing and innovative projects. The girls programmed Sphero robotics to form textile patterns, light shows for the catwalk, light up danger warnings for Victorian mill children, and they also used BBC microbits, which were used to light up LED patterns inspired by weaving and motion sensors and radio communications to warn of equipment proximity to injured children. Yeah, just a really inspiring day.
Claire, just to let you know, there's 5 minutes left.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'll move on quickly. Sorry. So we also had a young girl with autism who was really reluctant to join in at first. But with one-to-one working with a librarian, she overcame her anxiety and she ended up presenting her design, a praise bit, which encouraged the clothes designer by using empower messages, and she did that to her room full of 40. So I'm going to go quickly through Empowerment with Tech, which was founded by Natasha, who I mentioned earlier, and it's a meetup and events kind of group, sharing ideas and learning from people across the world. I look after this by connecting it to our library community, so our tech mums. I also do pre-group meetups, so if anyone's new, they can come and meet me for a drink beforehand and we will go in together. So they also have a mentoring scheme, and I think this is very, very important for encouraging women to get into digital as well with the skills gap. They pair up someone with a mentor, and there's been one success on the top of my mind, which is with Leanne and Erica, who paired up as mentoree, and now they've created their own health company called Lyria Digital. Normally, we do an Ada Lovelace event in person in the library, and that would be a tinkering session for everyone to have a go at some tech. But today, we're having to do it online. So if you are interested, this is our phenomenal lineup of speakers that you can come and see today on YouTube. But I don't want to take you away from the Dorset Festival, so it will be available afterwards as well. And yes, so I'll just end my talk there and just say that there's a lot going on in Leeds to inspire everyone into the world of digital and tech. And I will stop presenting. Sorry, I went over a bit.
That's all right. That was brilliant, Claire. Thank you so much. It's really inspirational. Such a range of initiatives that you've got going. I love the fact that you're using mums' influence in the communities and linking up to the cultural aspects of the work going on in Leeds. Sending code to space, that sounds very like will.i.am and sending stuff to space, so that's brilliant, and a bit of a plug there for studio12.org.uk. so thank you so much for doing that really, really interesting and inspirational work. Did anybody want to ask a quick question in the chat? We might have time for just one or two. Just going to pause for a moment just in case.
Sorry, I'm very bad with timing. But I'm always up for, yeah, if anyone has any questions, please do get in touch. They can get me on my email. I can type that in.
That's
If you
brilliant.
want me.
Well, that's fantastic. I'll just leave it then to say thank you ever so much, and I hope people enjoyed it and found it interesting. And if you want to know more about Futurefest, please follow us on Twitter at Digital Dorset. And if you're attending any other sessions, enjoy the rest of the festival. Thank you.